Greetings fellow mammals, today we are taking a look at the AVANCYS, a light machine gun that requires you to reach level 7 to unlock it. As always, up front, my recommended loadout. And of course we will have to talk about its placement in A tier. But in order to do that we first have to take a look at its basic performance. Put those time to kill charts on here. Starting out with standard ammo. That looks okay, not the fastest time to kill, but decent. Let's add high power onto this chart. Now that looks exactly like you would expect it to. Bit slower time to kill up close, but an advantage at further ranges. Only got one more now, subsonic ammo. Ooh, that might be the worst subsonic ammo we have seen yet. Well, we already know what we are certainly not taking on the trip. So what's gonna be our main ammo? Standard or high power? You see, normally I would say high power, because the difference in time to kill at the start there is just 20 milliseconds. That is basically nothing, and you would get a lot more benefits at range. But here's the problem. High power is a 50 round belt. That's it. And to reload that belt takes 6.5 seconds. 6.5 seconds for 50 rounds. Sure, the performance is great, but man, that is a lot of reloading. That is a lot of 6.5 seconds. You know what is also 6.5 seconds? The reload for the extended standard ammo. Guess what the difference is? That belt holds 200 rounds. Yeah, I'm sorry, but fuck high power. I am taking standard ammo. If you can live with only 50 rounds and reloading for an eternity every 10 seconds, more power to you. I can't. Standard ammo is my default. Smaller version in second slot and high power as a last resort. Couldn't it at least be 75 rounds or something? Come on guys, please. Let's refocus. Since we picked standard ammo now, this is a good moment to tell you that the AVANCYS has one of the easiest to control recoil patterns. At least in my opinion. It basically just moves upward. There is close to no horizontal recoil, and therefore for the barrel that leaves us with one insanely obvious pick, the tactical compensator. 8% more accuracy for 8% more non-existent recoil? Bet. Now we don't have a lot of stuff here besides that. Of course, for a stealthy option we take the wrapped suppressor. And if for whatever reason you want to use the extended barrel, go ahead. Now, for underneath I use my default pick for basically every gun, the LWG grip. If you are more into hip firing, you could use the LS1 laser, but I'm not that convinced an LMG is the best type of weapon for that kind of stuff, to be honest. But take both for all I care, because there's only one reasonable choice left for the third slot anyway, and that's obviously the bipod. With my playstyle I will likely never use this thing, ever. But some of you may find it useful. For the sights it's the usual stuff for me, with one small change. Of course, the red dot as always, but instead of the small thermal scope I would pick the 2.5 times here. With such low recoil and a bipod on top of that, you can really start beaming targets from afar. And with that thermal you can pick out targets a lot easier at such ranges. Again, not my playstyle, but someone out there will probably enjoy that kind of thing. And the last slot is of course for the 4x switchable scope. And that is another loadout done. Judgment time. I think it's pretty obvious this gun has not moved up to S tier. It has no attachments that uplift it, only really one usable ammo type right now, in my opinion, and that one, even though it is decent and very reliable, is not amazing. But is it worse than A tier now? I don't think so. It still fits in A tier quite well. In my opinion, this is an extremely easy to use weapon, very consistent performance, just very reliable. If a new player would ask me, hey, what is a good gun that is easy to use? Oh, and by the way, I like LMGs, then the AVANCYS is what I would recommend in an instant. So yeah, I think A tier is fine. They really have to do something about those 6.5 seconds though. And for God's sake, please buff subsonic ammo. Jesus. But that's it for today. You know the drill. If you enjoyed this episode, blah 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 blah. But honestly, if this type of video is right up your alley, subscribe. There will be at least 56 more like this one. So I will see you then. But in the meantime, I will see you on the battlefield. Sorrow out.